What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today we have another little tier making video. These have been a blast. Last one was my Call of Duty tier list. Now we are doing every zombies map Treyarch, because as far as non-Treyarchs go, I haven't revisited those in years, and I really don't have a huge opinion. Once I play those, because I do have a challenge, I'm trying to play every map and get to around 50. But we're doing Treyarchs today. Just going to put out a message that BO6 Zombies is coming out, so I'm going to be replaying every Cold War Easter egg solo and beating it on for videos. So look out for those probably in July. And if those do well, I will maybe do some BO3, BO4 maps. And also I'm doing campaign series, so right now we're doing Black Ops 1. First 2 episodes are live, and the third one should be hopefully coming out 4 days, so this should be uploaded on a Saturday. It should be coming out on like a Tuesday or Wednesday. And I'm having a blast with that series, and I'm definitely going to be doing Cold War, Black Ops 2, and potentially like Infinite Warfare and Ghosts, just because it's been a ton of fun. But let's get into this tier ranking. So I have been playing zombies since 2010. I've done pretty much every Easter egg. I've played every map to high rounds, I would say. Every map on this list I've definitely gotten to a minimum round 30 on. I know the layouts, I know the goods, I know the bad. So I think this is a pretty, I would say it's pretty objective, but you guys can let me know in the comments what you think. So let's start off with Nocturne and Toten. It looks like this is in order for the most part, which I don't mind. But what I will say about World at War, is it a great game? Probably not. It's the first installment. It was just introduced, but I love World at War. The first 3 maps, in my opinion, are just mid, so they're going to go C tier. I'm going to try to do the categories, like the front of the categories is the best map in that. So in my opinion, Shinonuma is the best World at War map of these 3. So Shinonuma, then Verrucht, then Noct. Noct has nothing really going for it. Verrucht has perks, which is awesome. And then Shinonuma obviously adds the Wunderwaffe and Trap. Or no, it didn't add traps. Verrucht added traps. I think just the Wunderwaffe. It definitely started like high rounds, and this was the last installment of 22 zombies per round, or 24, whatever one horde is. I love these maps. I mean, do I think World at War has the most replay value? I don't. But it's fun here and there. But this map right here, Darice, is an A tier map. One of the best maps we've ever gotten. I love Darice. It's so simple. You just open up to power, turn on the 3 things, get Pack-a-Punch, and you kind of just slay out. I mean, this was the first time where we got increasing zombies. Sorry if you guys hear fucking construction in the background. They've been doing work on my road for the past year, and they're so loud. But I love this map. Darice is such a good map. I not much I can say bad about it, just that it just, you know, it's very simple, and it isn't as modern as some of the maps you're going to see above it. But that is definitely an A tier map. It was on my top 5, but I think as of right now, it's my number 6, and I'll go into that later. So that's my thoughts on World at War. Yes, these 3 maps all these 4 maps were in Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 3, but I'm just saying overall, like for Darice, I'm not counting the Giant. Is the Giant on here? I don't think it is, which I'm fine with. I think the Giant is worse than Darice, but Keener or Toten. So this map is a lot of people's favorite. Do I think it's a great map? I do. Do I think it's the best? No. I'm going to put it right behind Darice. This was supposed to be a 4th DLC map on World at War, which I would honestly be interested to see how that would have played. But it's a great on-disc map. Tons of good stuff. Introduction to the Thunder Gun, like probably the 3rd best wonder weapon we've ever gotten. I'm trying to think but this is just a great map. I love it. It has so much good going for it. And you've got the creepy crawlers. You've got just a great aesthetic, a great high round strat. I got to around 50 in this last March, and it's just a fun map. And obviously in BO3 with the Gobblegums, it just plays amazing. Moving on to next 5. This map is very divisive in my opinion, because this map does get a lot of shit. I think it's just due to it's hard. There's no good training spots really, and you know, there's no really good wonder weapon. The Winter's Howl is very bad, so the only really way to go high rounds is to pretty much just camp with like the ray gun and the Sallies, and then you just have to run the trap strat. But this map is really fun. I think it gets a lot of bad stigma because it's hard. I do love the dock. It's an A tier map in my opinion. I know that might be a surprise, but I truly think 5 is just hated on because it's difficult. But if you really learn the map and you run the camp strategy and you run the trap strat, there's a lot of good in this map. I mean, it's in the freaking Pentagon, and you can play as Kennedy, McNamara, Fidel Castro. Like it's so cool. Like again, I think the fact that it's just so difficult is why it gets really bad hate. But I love this map. Ascension, another banger. I am a huge BO1 fan. This is gonna go top of B tier for now. I think Ascension, isn't an A tier map. It's a little too simple, but again, Thunder Gun is in it. The Pack-a-Punch room is really good for high rounds. The monkeys are annoying, but if you kind of know how to play against them and use the traps, they're not that annoying. But just a cool aesthetic map. The landers are cool. You've got PhD, you've got Stamina Up. I think those were introduced on this map. Just a fun map. I mean, if you're looking for like a BO1 map that's like a good introduction to that game's like kind of system, this is it. It's very fun. I got to around 50 my first game on it, just running the training strat on in Spawn. But just a fun all-around map. Nothing too bad to say about it. Next up is Call of the Dead. A map that I honestly probably about 6 or 7 months ago would probably not say is very good, but honestly, after seeing all the round 100 stuff and playing it for myself a good bit, I really like this map. I'm going to go B tier behind Ascension. I have a lot of fun. I mean, I will say if like the BO3 remake is amazing with infinite damage on the scavenger. But other than that, because I guess because you can't really get to a super high round is kind of why maybe people don't like it as much. But the crew is awesome. The aesthetic is cool. Yeah, George is a bit annoying, but I mean, the fact that you can get a free perk and a Wonder Wall from him is really, really cool. And I just have fun on this map. I love the aesthetic. It's just a fun map. Like I said, I don't think it's a map you can play a lot, but I do think it's definitely deserving of B tier. Next up is Shangri-La. In my opinion, the worst Black Ops 1 map. I love the baby gun. It's amazing because it's essentially infinite damage if you count, because it always will convert a zombie to a baby. I don't love the fact that you have to run over the zombies, to kill them. And I also really, really hate the napalm zombies, but it is a hard map too, and that might be why I dislike it a bit. But when it comes to Black Ops 1, it's just the map that I find myself revisiting the least. And again, it might be because there's a lot of hard factors, and it's just not an easy map to want to get on and just grind, but it is rewarding. I mean, it has one of the hardest strats in the Semtex room, which is like the tightest room, and you're supposed to be able to train there to like 200s. Like, I don't know how anybody can do that, but it is a solid map. I do like it. Moon is next up, the final installment of Black Ops 1. As you can see, Black Ops 1 is very consistent, and if you go back to the first video I ever posted of ranking all the COD zombie games, I have this game at S tier because, as you can see, B and A tier is where it lives. I'm going to go Moon back of A tier. I love this map. This is the map that introduced Mule Kick, which is actually surprising because they ended up adding Mule Kick back to all the previous maps, so that's why if you play offline mode, Mule Kick won't be on the map. But Moon is just so cool. I mean, you're literally playing on the moon. As you can see, Call of the Dead and Shang, they didn't have our Ultimus crew. But I just love this map. It's fun. The wave gun is awesome. The strat is fun. I mean, the BO3 strat's awesome. And after seeing a lot of the optimizations to the BO1 strat, where you kind of run the same strat, but you kind of have to like train the astronaut around, it's a fun map. The layout's great. The excavators can be annoying, but they're really not that bad. If you just get a whole horde of zombies in the spawn room, shoot them, and then you have plenty of time to hack it because of the time that the wave gun takes to eliminate the horde. But I love Moon. As you can see, it has 3 A tier maps and 3 B tier maps. Like BO1, great game. And then we sadly get to these next 3 maps: Transit, Nuketown, and Die Rise. And yeah, I'm gonna have to go F tier for all 3 of these. I think Nuketown is the worst of the 3. Nuketown, like, yeah, it's a fun map, but there's really no replayability. Like, waiting on the perks is annoying. There's no really good, like, wonder weapon. There's not really a great camping spot. It's just, there's not much value. Transit, I think Transit on a better engine is like a top 10 map. It's such a great idea to have these different locations that you can also play, obviously, by themselves, which I actually see are at the bottom of the list. We'll go rank those right after these. But Transit's just too big. Like, the fog, the denizens are just so, they just hurt you. The whole, like, system back then where you only could hold one piece at a time sucks with this big of a map. To literally build the jet gun, it takes like 8 hours, and then it also can break. Once you know how to use it, it's actually a pretty fun map, but it's too big. And Die Rise just doesn't do verticality right. I think these 2 maps have like some of the most creative ideas, and I think Zelensky had great ideas, but they just were too divisive for their time. That the elevators were just not. They were a good idea, but they were too random. Like the Mr. T Lexify remaster is perfect. You can call the elevators and stop them. Like that's what it needed to be. But there's too many elements of randomness in these two maps to have fun on. But now we get to some of the best maps of Black Ops 2. Mob of the Dead is S tier. As of right now, I just played that the other day. It's my number one map right now. My top 4, I would say, are all like 10 out of 10 maps, and they kind of change for which one's my favorite. But I love Mob. I mean, you're in Alcatraz, which I've actually been in real life, which is really cool. But the crew is, I mean, you got Brutus, you've got the Blundergat, one of my favorite wonder weapons of all time, a really cool Easter egg, a cool Pack-a-Punch location. It's just what I love about it and why I think it's super replayable is the map kind of walks you through. It's not like out of your way. Like you kind of go through the map, you get the different plane parts, you build the plane, you fill up the dragon stick, get the Hell's Retriever, you can upgrade that. It's not super out of your way to do all the things like some of these maps have. And it's just an easy map to get on and just have fun on. It might be a little more, tedious than like a Doris, but I think this map is like that first wow factor. Like, wow, this is really what zombies can be. And nothing against the A-tier maps, but Mob is that pinnacle perfect zombies map. Let's go to Buried. So I think the problem that a lot of people have with Buried is they say that it's too easy. And then it was the map back in the day to go camp in Jug Alley and get to round 30. But when you look at the round 100 strat and like the world records, like you have to use buildables and like rely on turbines and whatever that dubstep machine thing is called. It's tough. It's a tough high round map because you have to always be wary of, okay, I need to grab another one of these and then I have to grab a turbine. And I think this map gets a lot of hate because of how easy it is, but it really isn't that easy. I'm going to go A tier right behind Kino. I love Buried. I'm a big BO2 guy, but Leroy is cool. I just love the aesthetic of the map. Introduction to the Mark II and the, why am I blanking on the name? Paralyzer. The time bomb's cool. I think, again, it's not that easy. The Easter egg is tough. High rounding is pretty tough. And it's just a fun map, I think, like, especially if you're trying to play BO2 zombies and you don't want to have to sweat and, with the 2-hit down system, it's just a fun map to play. Like, I literally can't tell you how much fun I've had on this map. When it comes to, like, BO2, this is my go-to map if I'm just looking to chill out and just slay, like, tons of rounds of zombies. But then we got Juggernauts like Origins, which is going to go S tier. I mean, the Origins is just, like, the biggest map we've gotten. 4 elemental staffs. You've got these robots. You've got just, like, the first kind of, like, really, like, the storyline really picks up. The first map that we actually have the Primus crew, which is obviously a different version of the Ultimus crew in, like, a different universe, I think. The zombie storyline is so confusing. I couldn't tell you much about it. Besides that, I just know that there's Ultimus and Primus. But there is a ton of good to come out of this map. Obviously, the staffs are amazing. You upgrade them. The G-Strikes are cool. I mean, just the aesthetic of the map. You're in northern France. You've got Agartha. I just think this map really shows you how awesome. And it's so different from Mob. Like, this map is very big. You have to do a lot to have fun on. But again, I love that. I'm a huge lover of Easter eggs and just, like, being able to upgrade a staff. And I think for some people it might be too much. But I love Origins. This was my favorite map for a while. But once I kind of discovered these next 2 maps in Black Ops 3 as well as Mob more, I love this map. Shadows of Evil. So this was my number 1 for the longest time. But it's going to be my number 2 because I just haven't played it as much recently as Mob. There is a new high round strat on it where you kind of camp like in this. You don't open the first spawn door and you camp right outside of there. But every time I revisit Shadows, it like always jumps to my number 1. But I was not the biggest hater, but I didn't really see how good this map was because when I started playing zombies, like when I started playing Black Ops 3, I pretty much only played Dreisendrach. Like I didn't really play a ton at launch, but not until about 2 years ago when I actually sat down and like went and got the sword and did the Easter egg and got the Apothecon Servant. And actually that's when I realized how awesome this map is. If you had asked Treyarch, this is probably their most like passionate project. Like Shadows is just a huge map. It doesn't really, like, obviously the characters don't do a ton for the storyline, but this map is just so much fun. Like, you pair this with the Giant on release, and you have just a Juggernaut, like, tons of fun Easter egg map, and then just, like, a slaying, like, map in the Giant. But I was the biggest hater on Shadows. I thought it was like a C tier map for the longest time. But once I realized how genius it was and how fun it was, I mean, the Easter egg speedrun is awesome. High rounds is fun. Like, there's just so much fun to be had on this map, and it truly is awesome. And it takes the beast mode out of Mob, but you don't have to res yourself, and it has like generators almost from Origins. It takes all the good from Mob of the Dead and Origins and combines them and just makes a beautiful map. All right, next up, Der Eisendrache. I'm going to go number 3. This map has been ahead of Origins for quite a while, and I only have it just because I think it's slightly more replayable. I think the bows are a little easier to get and upgrade, and it's just a less hard game. Like, with good gobblegums and stuff like that, I feel like it's a lot easier to get on Dreisendrache and get a bow versus getting a staff. But, I mean, you got the 4 elemental bow, so it kind of gets inspiration from Origins, but also is different. And how, like, there's like a generic bow and then 4 upgrades versus 4 staffs and 4 upgrades. But I think Dreisendrache is a lot of people's favorite in like the casual eyes, and I do think probably on paper it's the best map. But I think I've probably just played it too much to this point where I have more fun on Mob of the Dead and Shadows, just because I've literally done the Dreisendrache Easter egg probably over 100 times, and that's not even an exaggeration. I could do this Easter egg in my sleep. That's definitely an Easter egg I should do for a video, or like around 100 for a video, because it's a very, very easy map to just get on and complete the Easter egg. I mean, it's just like the steps are basically like automatic at this point, but it's just a great map. If you've never played it, I mean, you're missing out. And I think when you ask somebody, like, not somebody that's super into zombies, what's their favorite map, they're probably going to say Dreisendrache or Kino. I'd say more newer people will say Dreisendrache that didn't really play Kino, but I mean, it's an S tier map. It's a 10 out of 10, but it's, for me, it just isn't as high as the other two just because I played it so much. Let's go to Zetsubou next. So this map too, I think, isn't liked as much, kind of like 5, where it's hard. You have to do temporary power through buckets, and then you have to actually turn on power with a timer sequence. But I love the aesthetic of this map. One thing I will say is the new Terminus Island map really has like a Zetsubou aesthetic. And I don't know why there's an alarm going off on my phone. I love this aesthetic. The KT4 is amazing. The Easter egg's a ton of fun. The Thrashers are annoying, but this map does get a lot of shit. I'm going to go top of V tier. I think it's just a little bit better than Ascension. Again, I think it is a tougher map, but if you really get on it and learn the steps of getting the KT4 and the Skull and doing the Easter egg, it's a really fun map. The boss fight's very, very chill. Like, it's a really good, easy boss fight to do and not be stressed out. I mean, you get Perkaholic from it. It is a fun map. Again, it's like Shadows, where I think from afar it seems so complicated and so difficult, but it is such a fun map once you actually learn how to play it. Grog Crovey. So, for the longest time, my top 5 was Mob, Shadows, Dreisendrache, Origins, Therese. But Gorod Crovey just is better, man. Gorod Crovey, again, is a map that I've always liked, but just recently I just really got an appreciation for. The Mark 3s are just so fun. The Easter egg is awesome. Yeah, the bomb step's stressful, but I really like how this Easter egg works, because there's some elements like the Val step that are really tough, but it is kind of an Easter egg where you kind of get the egg and you upgrade the egg. Like, it's very, very easy to want to do. And I just have to give it the slight edge to Therese, probably because it's newer and it's just a little more innovative. And I'm also a lover of BO3. But I just love Gorod. It's so close to being an S tier map, but I just don't think it's quite on the level of the 4 above it. But Gorod Crovey is a ton of fun. High rounding is fun. I mean, getting to 50 is fun, but then once you have to do the shield strat, it's a little tough. I mean, the shield is amazing. I will say the specialist, the guard of Fast, I forget how to say it. Something of Fafnir. It is decent, but it does crash your game on high rounds. But, I mean, the boss fight is so much fun, and you get Perma-Perkaholic from it. It's a masterful crafted map. I mean, I do, again, think maybe from afar some people might not think it's that good, but I just think BO3's game, you have to just look at it as a bigger picture of not just slaying zombies, but from a storyline and an Easter egg standpoint, and just the way that you can play these BO3 maps with gobblegums, no gobblegums. You can speedrun the maps, Easter eggs, play for high rounds. There's so many different ways, and I think all those different ways that I've experienced, it's such a good map. Next up, we've got Revelation. So this map, I think, gets hate because it's not original, and I'll give you that. That definitely docks at some points, but Revelations is still such a fun map. The Easter egg is definitely tough, probably the toughest Easter egg, but it's some of the most fun I've had on Easter eggs. The boss fight is incredible, And I find myself, honestly, when it comes to if I want to speedrun an Easter egg or play an Easter egg, I sometimes want to play Rev. I don't know why, but I love Rev. I'm going to go right behind Ascension because I think it maybe isn't quite as good as Ascension, but it still is an amazing map. We all wanted a Revelations. We wanted a map that pieced them all together, and I think that's the problem. People now look back and say, oh, we could have got the Great War map, but Rev was wanted, and I'm glad we got Rev because if we didn't get Rev, who knows if we wouldn't have gotten Chronicles, and Chronicles is amazing in itself. I mean, Chronicles is almost like a pretty much a zombies game in itself. But again, I think like Rod Crovery, Zetsubo, and Rev, and maybe even Shadows, like, I think they get overlooked for the good they do by just some small bad. And that's where I think a lot of people might think this map is like C or D tier. But it's not. I promise you, if you go into all the BO3 maps with the right mindset and you play them for the right reasons, you'll have a ton of fun. And that's why I think, in my opinion, it's the best zombies game of all time. So let's go into BO4. I didn't play a lot of BO4 when it came out, but last summer I played a ton. I did every round 50 and I did a couple Easter eggs, which are awful. There's some good, but there's a lot of bad. Blood of the Dead is a D tier map, just not a good remaster of Mob. It's so sad because you take like the best map of all time and then you ruin it and make one of the worst. There's a couple saving graces. It still has Mob of the Dead. It's still kind of fun, but this Easter egg is like impossible. I don't think I'll ever do it. Like, I've watched people do it and it looks so stressful. Maybe I'll attempt it for a video, but not a good map. Classified, just down there too. I don't know why they take 5 and like they added some more rooms, which I'm fine with, but they changed how you get Pack-a-Punch, which is Area 51, which makes no sense. They just ruin all the good parts. The Winter's Howl is actually good, but I just don't like this map. I actually like, it was a chore to play. Like, to getting around 50 was actually genuinely hard. Like, it was actually boring. Voyage of Despair is down there too. Too big. I love the aesthetic of this map, but when it comes to like visual, that's the best looking map probably on all of BO4. The idea is great, but dude, maneuvering this map is just horrible. I think they're called Blight Fathers, the super like long things. Those things are so fucking annoying. They're so hard to kill. The Wonder Weapon's pretty cool. I forget the name of it. It's like a weird like turbine gun almost. I don't know. BO4 pretty much, if you guys want to get to high rounds, just literally get the Helion Salvo with PhD, Slider, Bandolier Bandit, Strong, I forget the name of the Stronghold one, and then just use Imlo or Alchem and you'll get to around 100 no problem. But it's a boring game. There's 2 saving graces to this game, and 9 is one of them. 9, I'm going to go right above Buried. 9 is awesome. This map, you're in pretty much like a gladiator arena, but this map is awesome. You've got tigers for like the dog rounds. The gladiators that you fight are really cool. This map is a ton of fun. The Wonder Weapon's fun, but the aesthetic and the flow of this map is awesome. You've got like 4 kind of subsections off of the main arena for Danu, Ra, Zeus, and Odin. But getting the shield is easy. Getting Pack-a-Punch is pretty easy. The Easter egg's a little tedious. But just getting on this map is fun. Like, it's easy to train, and I remember day 1 playing this map. I had a lot of fun. This is one saving grace of this game is 9. That map is a ton of fun. Dead of the Night. So this map isn't bad, but it's not like good. Like, it's a cool map. I haven't done the Easter egg. I've done a high round on it. What's cool about this map is you can like craft like you can buy ammo for a gun if you craft like, I forget what it's called. It's called like Silver Bullet or something like that. You can craft it and you can buy ammo for your Helion Salvo. I think it's okay. I'll go top of C tier. I like Dead of the Night. If I had to choose between the bottom maps, which one, like this next map, Ancient Evil, is another A tier map. I'd probably have to go with Dead of the Night. I actually love Ancient Evil. I'm going to go above 9. Ancient Evil is basically the origins of BO4. You've got the 4 gauntlets. I know the one is the Gauntlet of Sharon. That's the high round one, which is really satisfying. This map's fun. If you're going to play a BO4, play Ancient Evil or 9. But it is a map where you have to do a decent amount of work to have fun on, but the aesthetic is amazing. You kind of like go down to this like cave almost. I don't know how to explain it, but getting the gauntlet's a ton of fun, and using the gauntlet is so satisfying. These 2 maps are the saving grace of BO4, and I don't think people realize how good these 2 maps are. But other than that, like Alpha Omega, in my opinion, is the worst zombies map of all time. It's Nuketown again, so it's unoriginal. There's elemental ray gun Mark IIs that I've never gotten. But the worst part of this map is it does not flow well, and literally there's the crawlers from like the Nova 6 crawlers from Black Ops 1, but they literally camp on roofs and they just zap you. And when I tell you, bro, I got the round 50 on this. I don't think there's a game I've had less fun on. This game's so bored. Like, I actually thought I was going to go insane playing this map. It was horrible. And it's just designed terribly. As you can see, both of the Nuketown maps are just horrible. Don't play this map. It's horrible. Because not only is it unoriginal, it doesn't flow well, there's really no good weapons, the Easter egg is awful, but playing it is genuinely painful. Tog, Tog's fun. It's another mid-map. Yeah, it's a remaster of Call of the Dead. Is it as good? I don't think it is. It has like an elemental, I think it's Thunder Gun. This was the first round 100 I ever did on BO4 because it's so easy. You can do it in under 2 hours if you're fast. You just get the healing on and you camp up at power. I don't think it's as good. I'm going to go right behind Dead of the Night. I know I'm kind of disrespecting World at War, but there's just not enough to like warrant putting them higher. Let's get to Cold War. Actually, let me do the BO2 survival maps. Bus Tipo is awful. I'm going to go like right above Nuketown. There's nothing. There's no perks, no Pack-a-Punch. Farm is eh. I'm going to go top of D tier because there's just perks. There's no Pack-a-Punch. Town, I'm tempted to go back to A tier. Town is a really fun map to just get on. That's the BO2 map. Like, I guess I said buried, but BO2 was a map that you could just get on and just slay. I mean, Pack-a-Punch, perks, good training locations, good camping location if you're with your friends. It is kind of tough to high round. I mean, I don't think round 100 is even possible, but round 50 is definitely achievable. But Town is a ton of fun. Let's move on to D Machina. I actually do like Cold War. Gets a lot of shit. Do I think it's too easy? Yes. But I've had fun on it. Where am I going to put D Machina? I'm going to put D Machina in B tier. I'm going to put it right behind Revelations. I honestly think for an on-disc map, this map had a lot of replay value. When it comes to camo grinding, I played it a lot. The Easter egg's fun. It actually did well. Do I think it could have been better? Yeah. It has part of Noct in it, which I think is cool, but I genuinely enjoy playing this map. When it comes to like most played map on Cold War, it definitely is D Machina. Is it my favorite? No. Firebase, in my opinion, I think should be everybody's least favorite Cold War map. I don't love the order rounds, because like that's not really what Zombies is meant to be. That round is almost like you have to defend like a I don't even know, like a computer almost, I would say. Like, it's like a tower defense, and that's just not what Zombies is meant to be. I'm going to go back a C tier. I don't think it's quite D tier. Like, it's not painful to play, but it's just really not my favorite map. Mauer is my favorite map. I love the aesthetic. I love the Wonder Weapon. The Cerberus, I think it's called. I forget. It has a ton of different cool variants, but honestly, the best variant is just the basic one. And especially with Mule Kick, that gives you, like, it's like the perma Vulture Aid, you get ammo. This map, I remember when it came out, I grinded the high rounds the first day. I just had a ton of fun on this map. I do think it is one of the better maps. In my opinion, I think it is the best. But Outbreak, so this obviously isn't round-based. I don't think Outbreak's terrible, but it's just not my cup of tea. I'm going to go top of D tier. I've had fun on it. It doesn't have as much bad as these four, but it just doesn't, like, I don't know. I need to get round 50 on Outbreak, but I just don't want to because I just don't really have fun on Outbreak. I mean, it was fun for like 2 or 3 like playthroughs, but no. I think Forsaken is genius. The Wonder Weapon's very cool. It's like a half axe, half like gun. But what I will say though is it definitely leaves a little bit to be desired. So I'm gonna go right behind D Machina. Actually, I'm going to go bottom of B tier. I don't think it's better than Call of the Dead or Shang. But that's my Zombies tier list. Let me know what you guys think. I think for the most part, like, at a very minimum, everybody should at least understand why I ranked things, how I did. But yeah, like I said, this should be going up because I'm going to be out of town for the next week when you see this. But I'm trying to do like 2 to 3 posts a week. I'm trying to do a lot of different content that's very easy to just film, quickly edit, and upload. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the campaign series. I'm going to keep doing that. We're going to do some Easter egg videos. And then, yeah, we'll go right into Black Ops 6, which I wanted MW3's year to be just so much bigger than it was. And I honestly, I'm not having fun on MW3. So I don't think I'll do much content. I want to make Cold War videos, but that game is dead because of all the DDoSing problems. But I might do a hand cam video, but I'm just not having fun on MW3, so I'm trying to figure out what kind of content I can make. But definitely have some stuff going with me in the campaign videos. We'll do some zombie Easter egg stuff, and that should hopefully get us to October. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this list, and I will catch you in the next one.